In this video, I'm going to teach you how to build a clear, consistent, and compelling brand, even if you have more than one audience. So maybe you have a local side of your business and then you're also selling online products, or you have high-priced one-on-one services, but then also sell lower-priced group or course-based products, or maybe you have different use cases, like different types of people are using your product for different outcomes and in different ways. All right, stick around. I have 4 strategies to deal with these situations and still maintain an awesome brand. My name is Kay Putnam. I'm the psychology-driven brand strategist. I help entrepreneurs change the world with what they know through their brands, and I am so excited that you are here. Celebrate yourself. You are showing up and investing time in yourself, in your brand, in your success, and I would love to just take that moment and celebrate the fact that you're here, improving yourself, developing yourself, and learning something new. You are my kind of people. And if you haven't already, do hit that subscribe button because I share so many valuable branding videos from everything from like naming your business to how to define your brand standards and everything in between. All right, let's get into the 4 strategies to brand your business even if you have more than one audience. But before we get into all of that, I do want to caveat this entire video by saying that if you can get by with focusing on a singular audience, like if you don't have to do both, then don't. Or like if you can start with one and then add one later, that's better. Because any extra complexity that you're adding into your business and into your messaging before you've actually reached the success that you want to get to is probably just diluting your focus. But I understand that there's some situations where it just doesn't work. Like you, for whatever reason, you want to have more than one audience in your business because of your future goals. And this video is going to share how to do that if that's you and that's your case. First step that we need to do in this situation is we need to figure out exactly who these 2 audiences are. So where are they hanging out? What is the same about them? Like where do they converge? Where does the Venn diagram converge? And you can find messages that are the same for both of these audiences. On the flip side of things, how are they different? So are they actually that different in one hand? But like what do they care about? Like, do they call themselves something different? Are they concerned about different parts of your product or service than each other? What is going to need to be different in your different messages when you're talking to each of these 2 different audiences that you have? And then strategy number 2 when it comes to serving more than one audience is to realize and understand and embrace and celebrate the fact that your core brand doesn't have to change when you're talking to these 2 different types of people. Because who you are isn't going to change. You're not like that wishy-washy high schooler that changes their personality depending on which clique they're talking to, right? Like you are who you are and you are at your best when you're being authentic and in alignment with that best brand, that best self. So give yourself permission to attract these different groups of people by standing in your truth. So lean into your archetypes, lean into your unique points of view as a brand, into your personality, and into your vision of how the world should change and improve. All of these things, even if the marketing messages farther down the funnel are going to be more specialized to the different audiences. So I gave it away. Step number 3 is that you do need to customize your funnel for each of these people. Meaning, are you going to need to show up and be visible at the top of your funnel in different places? So maybe your executives hang out on LinkedIn, but your entrepreneurs who are at a lower price point hang out on Facebook or Instagram, for example. Or maybe your local community is local and you can reach them through like local networking events or meetups or the local like newspaper or ads, those types of things, where your online community is global. So you're going to focus more on things like Facebook ads or a Facebook page, social media to reach that specific audience. So know where you're attracting your different people and how you can best reach them. It may not be a one size fits all when you're dealing with more than one audience. And like we said before, your actual like sales message, the actual marketing message for the different audiences is going to be different. This is where things get more complex because you might need to have a completely different sales page for one audience versus another, even if you're selling the same product, because they're interested and invested in different things. And of course, if you're selling different, like say like a low price product and a high price product, of course those are gonna have different sales pages. But just know that you're gonna have to craft each of them to the person that is buying that particular product from you. All right, and then step number 4 in this process is to continually ask your audience to self-identify which of the audiences that they fall in so that you can effectively serve up the right and relevant content to them. This is where things get a little bit more technically difficult, especially if we're not just talking about the messages you're serving up in person, because you can talk to people and give them your business card or give them a brochure in person, where you have your online messages be the other thing. But if you're talking to different audiences and they're both online, maybe you have to do things like have a segmentation quiz or have different lists in your email software. Or, if somebody falls into one list by accident, have an ability to them to like jump over to the other email list to get more specialized messages that are relevant to them. This is all possible through email marketing, through automation, quizzes. These are a great way to segment. And there are things that I've done in the past to help segment between my one-on-one clients and then my entrepreneurs who are more in the startup or launching phase of business. But in the end, really focus on number 2. I think that's the most potent thing that you can do, especially at the top of your funnel, is to make sure that you are showing up as you, because that is the thing that is in common. That's the thing that's linking and holding your brand together, so that you're not trying to be 2 different people to 2 different audiences. It's gonna blow up in your face. It's not a good strategy to take. So focus in on what's the same between all of these different businesses, and then just use the very end of your funnel, so like where you're actually making the sale, to make those final distinctions. You'll see Apple do this. So Apple is Apple, right? The brand, the technology that we all use and love, or lots of us, and they have their brand, they are Apple. But you'll see different sales pages for like creative people, or for people who are more interested in just documenting photos and videos of their family, or professionals. They have different sales pages or different messages where people can self-identify, like we talked about in step 4, either by clicking on a specific section of the page or following a specific link to go to the sales page that actually is most relevant to them, where they can speak in their language. I hope this is helpful. Again, try to keep things as simple as possible, but sometimes it happens where you have to speak to more than one group of people, and they're not going to hear you if you try to use the exact same message and copy and paste it for all of them. So give yourself the permission and use these 4 strategies to segment and reach each of them in the most effective way. So thank you so much for watching. Comment below, let me know if you have any questions, or just say hello. Hey Kay. I would love to see who's watching the video and to have a little conversation. All right, have a great day, guys. See you in the next video.